So it's post-match time. Post-match versus Stoke in the game where possibly the only game that Spooner and Gardner will be in charge for, where we've lost by 2-0. Now, there is two main things that I will talk about in this video. One is stuff in the first half and the other is stuff for the second half. So obviously we'll start off with the first half. First half, we started on the wrong foot, is how I will start it. I feel we started on the wrong foot. We started way too defensive. 5 at the back was not the choice. You're playing a team who can't win, who've just conceded 5 goals to Leeds. A team that is desperate for a victory. I'm not sure 5 at the back was the way to go. Now, obviously losing Pedersen and Clark-Salter within the last couple of days is a humongous loss to the team. And they're two of our main players, our rock solid back. So we had Harley Dean back with Roberts, and we had a young kid in defence as well. So that wasn't the best start. And from minute 1, the back 4 kind of looked all over the shop. Well, the back 5, sorry. You got Harding on the one side, who I can't say much about because I really am not a fan. I don't think he's a brilliant player. I think he's well overhyped by a lot of fans, and it seems all the managers love him when he makes mistake upon mistake. Now, he got brought off at half-time, which I will completely applaud Spooner and Gardner for. He needed to come off. He was making mistakes. He could have seriously cost us a big defeat, big amount of goals conceded. And I feel that was definitely the right decision. As being 2-0 down at half-time to a team like Stoke is just not acceptable. It's not acceptable at all. Stoke, give them the credit where it's due. They played quite well. But we made them look like prime Barcelona. It's not the greatest idea by a club. So first half, I would say formation and a couple of player picks were definitely the errors. You had an unexperienced centre half playing next to somebody playing out of position. Just wasn't the best idea, and it felt like being taken back a fair few years to not having the experience there. And after 2-0 happened, I was highly afraid that it was going to end up being like one of the last times we had a caretaker manager and then get sacked the next day, because I had a feeling 6 or 8 was coming. They steadied the ship in the second half. They played a lot better in the second half. They put a bit more power in. Having Bella on the pitch showed a lot more urgency. Burke coming off the bench. I thought Burke played really well coming off the bench. Boyd Muntz coming off the bench. I thought he showed for it. And it felt like the second half was a lot better. Bella definitely changed it. Crowley coming on, but came on a bit too late for my liking. If he'd have come on with 15, 20 minutes earlier, about 20, 25 minutes to go, he could have done something. But he wasn't really given enough time, and therefore there was an error there. But not being able to get the ball forward enough to get the ball to Reed up front was a massive error. Hogan didn't play brilliantly again, but I feel like he was slightly hard done by being brought off, because I didn't think he was overly shown the ball enough by the midfield to be able to be judged as the worst player. I'm not sure Juki had the best game either, so I would have probably brought off Juki and thrown pace at their defence myself, as every time Hogan was running at them, they looked nervy. So there was a couple of big errors. There was a couple of inexperienced managerial position things, and it has been nice to have the post-match interview and him come out and say, I made a mistake with the formation. This is not something Pep Clotet would have done. And I'll be honest, it's probably not something a manager of a team would have done and come out and blamed himself. But when he came out and said, look, the formation was wrong at the start and that's what happened, I had respect for it. Now, is it the long-term option to keep them for the rest of the season? I do not know. I feel it may be in the best interest of the club to get someone in as soon as possible that is a more experienced manager, even if it is for 3 games to try and keep us up. I feel that would be a better option than having Gardner and Spooner in charge for the rest of the season, as I don't think Spooner is experienced enough out there. And you've got Gardner, who's very recently passed his coaching badges and just become a coach. So I'm not sure he's the right option. There was definitely a lot more passion there from the youth players, and it was nice to see the youth players on the pitch. It was nice to see a couple of new faces getting in the team and getting off the bench, and not just having the argument from Pep Clotet of, we don't have enough attacking players, we don't have enough attacking options on our bench, bringing on a couple of attacking options off the bench, bringing on Reed off the bench, Colin Boyd-Muntz off the bench, bringing on those players. It's good to see Gordon get some time out there and Burke get some time out on the pitch. These are our future. This is the future of the club. They need the time out there. Now, a lot of people on Twitter were slagging him off for bringing on a couple of players, but I thought that it was lovely to see some fresh youth talent on the pitch, with Burke playing quite well. Gordon didn't play brilliantly at the start, but grew into the game and got better as it went on. And Reed wasn't as good today, but Boyd-Muntz also showed some lovely touches. So I'm looking forward to seeing them grow in the future. But anyway, 2-0 defeat. Not the best showing. Who knows what happens next? New manager? Keep right on.